If you start a brief and you say, we need this video to go viral, that's the wrong starting point.
That was every single brief at Duolingo and it worked. Like we did make an owl twerk on a conference room table. Zero creative integrity. It fucking converted like crazy. I'm Zaria, head of social at DoorDash and previously Duolingo.
I'm Brent, co-founder and CEO of Geezer Creative.
I'm Pearson, VP of Creative at Liquid Death.
The prompt is, the obsession with going viral has destroyed creative integrity.
I tend to agree with that. I think obviously going viral, it lowers sort of the bar of what we're looking to create. And of course, this is coming from a place of like creative integrity. What even is creative integrity? Obviously, virality has a place, but when brands are chasing that for years on end, you sort of are feeding people candy with nothing else of nutritional value. And I think I want to make a character that people can relate to and build a relationship with, rather than kind of get these quick dopamine hits that are really more fleeting.
But I guess like why do that through like marketing? Like does marketing even have, like does it need creative integrity, or like what is the add of creative integrity to marketing if it's not to resonate with the maximum amount of people and get the maximum amount of bottom line?
It totally is, but I don't think that virality necessarily equates relevance. Like when you say relate to people, I think it does in a maybe surface way. But I think even if you look at the stuff that we build, obviously we're at Liquid Death quite good at making viral content. But everything that we build, we're inherently trying to work in deeper sort of human insights and social commentary into them versus a sort of like a really basic guy gets hit in the nuts and it's funny sort of moment.
Reflecting on my own experience at Duolingo, something that we found out quickly is that the virality might have sacrificed creative integrity, but at the same time, the creative integrity almost became the virality. Like that is what people were looking for and looking toward. And like, it also kind of brings in like, is this craft or is this not craft? But like, in the end, it was converting new users. It was getting people attached to this character. It was getting people interested in a seemingly supposedly boring feature, right? Like language learning isn't sexy, and all of a sudden like these virality hits kind of built its own creative architecture. So I'm curious how you see that coming out to play, where like it did go pretty viral, it did convert, and it did make fans out of it. So like is there integrity there?
Yeah, I think like on a case-by-case basis, that certainly works. But I think the sort of industry level obsession with virality is what is inherently damaging it. And you saw stuff like, I mean, years ago it was like, what's our ice bucket challenge idea? And people, the amount of time and effort and money spent to develop an idea like that, or the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing I see with Liquid Death. It's like, we hear this from people all the time. It's what's our Liquid Death idea? And I think people miss the point that Liquid Death is the idea. The whole idea is what we do. All the viral moments that we have are just expressions of that. And so I think that like surface chasing level virality is damaging to the way that marketing orgs should work.
I'll swap in for Andy.
Oh, please.
It's a tough one to answer without knowing what the brief is, but I think that when, we'll use clients as the example. We've all had the experience of the client. Andy mentioned, I want my ice bucket challenge, right? Yeah. When you're just chasing virality, and that's legitimately the top line item on the brief, I think it has the potential to reinforce the wrong behavior, right? Versus solve the creative problem with the ambition, right? As in the case of Duolingo, you're solving a creative problem, and the ambition, of course, is, hey, we'll love if this goes viral, and if it does, great, we live, we learn, we take off. But I think when the brief is, I want a viral video, that the creative teams are going to elicit the wrong behaviors. They're going to start chasing the wrong things. I mean, and we all kind of got ridiculed a couple of years ago when on, of all stages, Super Bowl, right? One of the winners of the ad meter was a bouncing QR code. Yeah. That just literally, I think, just kind of ridiculed the industry for, here's how we're going to go viral. Right? Yeah. Right. So that's a situation. But I just think it has the potential to just elicit the wrong behaviors. Right?
But like, what do you mean by wrong behavior?
I think that they just be chasing viral for the sake of viral. So it might be to the expense of the creative product, to the expense of the brief. It could be, we're just going to do this, Andy said it earlier, we're going to have some guy get hit in the nuts by a softball. Well, that might have no value to the brand,
Yeah.
right? Have no value to the brief, but it went viral, so check.
But what
Right.
if, but I feel like in this day and age now, like virality is providing value to these brands. Like that is like the TikTokification of everything. Where like, why does every brand want to be social first now? Because it's actually affecting the bottom line. Like products are getting sold out. And like these videos are, a lot of it's like brain rot. A lot of it's not like creative integrity. Like it is this like rage bait almost, but it actually is affecting the bottom line. And if like, yes, we have the creative brief, we have all these things, but ultimately we're hired as marketers to make the business money and convert.
No question.
So like,
Yeah, no
if
question.
it is working, does creative integrity truly matter?
No, if creative integrity ends up going viral, I think it's fantastic. But I think that if you start a brief with a bunch of creative teams and you say, listen, guys, we need this video to go viral, that's the wrong starting point.
Yes, but also that was every single brief at Duolingo and it worked. So
Right.
then at that point, like we did make an owl twerk on a conference room
Right.
table. Zero creative integrity. It fucking converted like crazy.
Right.
So then at the point, like
But did it convert to transaction or did it
it
just
convert to new users,
followers?
new users
To
and
new users.
resurrection. Like it, and that was like why. And honestly, like part of the reason why I left is I couldn't chase the virality. Like it was like this is like a lot as a creative human.
It
to
just
do
becomes
this.
overwhelming.
Yeah,
Right.
but like it works for them and it continues to work.
It's
and
like
it's worked for
being,
5 years.
Yeah, it's like being a batter and going up to the, and your only job is to hit a home run.
Right,
We
but
don't
like-
accept bunts or first base.
But like that's the thing though, like if these businesses are going to agencies or marketers or hiring social media people, isn't that the goal? Like that, like why is that an unfair goal to have almost? Like why should they value creative
I just don't
integrity?
think we should lead off with it. You don't have to go to you don't have to go viral to be successful.
Can you give me an example of that? Like what do you think is successful? Like
Microsoft makes a lot of money. It's one of the largest companies on planet Earth. I don't think they've ever had anything go viral. Right? I don't even think
Yeah.
they know what that means. Right? I mean, Apple doesn't even have social channels.
right.
Right? They're not even in the space.
But you feel Microsoft has creative integrity.
Actually, no, that Apple has creative integrity. Microsoft, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say, I think when your starting point is this has to be the most viral, widespread thing ever, I think that's a inherently flawed way to look at it. I think if we make something that is entertaining, human-based, interesting, fascinating, if we start with an audience in mind, we can build something that does have the opportunity to truly go viral. And that is how, over time, we build something that's interesting. Of course, I think there are occasions where it makes sense that the whole brand is built off of sort of viral one-hit wonders. And
Right.
don't mean that in an offensive way, but
No, it's true.
but if something's all one-hit wonders, there's sort of nothing behind that at the end of the day.